Okay, for this this little minor project for my Hawthorn Leslie, I noticed when I unpacked it that one of the magnets hasn't been glued in properly on the roof. I can see it's stuck just there, and although it's probably fine, it would be nice to have it correctly oriented, having the two batteries actually sticking in the roof onto the body. So what I want to do is to remove this magnet and then use some super glue to attach it to the roof. Now I need to get the orientation correct. So what I'll try and do is put a little mark on the side that has to be glued. That doesn't really show very well. That might be enough. On the side that has to be glued to the roof. Now to remove this, I remember for these very strong batteries you need to slide them rather than pull them, so I'm going to try and slide this sideways. It's difficult because of course the magnet pulls the tweezers. I cannot get easily into the right position. It's going to be quite hard to do. Got it. Right, that should stick to the tweezers. I can still see the black dot, so I know which is the correct orientation. Now putting this back on the roof, that's going to be difficult. If I use something metal, it's going to try and stick to the metal object rather than stick to the roof. So how can I remove this? Can I take it in my hands and put it here? And then use something in wood. How can I do this? I think with using two cocktail sticks it's not going to be easy to pick up, and it's flipped over. What I really need is a pair of tweezers made out of something non-metallic, but I think everything is going to be metallic. Ooh, it's really, really strong, this magnet. They're amazing things. No, it's not quite big enough. I don't want to do this by hand because super glue is very good at sticking to skin. I just want to... This isn't going to work, is it? Perhaps I can try and do, if it doesn't... You see, as soon as you put it close to this magnet, whoosh, it's gone. Oh, I can't slide this off. Is that really on there? Or have I lost it? Where is it? And I've lost both of them. It's ridiculous. I only see 2 on there. This is not going very well. I'm now in a worse position than I was before because now we have no magnets stuck to the roof, and these 2 magnets here stuck together and almost inseparable. Is that 1 or 2? This is really, really difficult. Is this 2 sandwiched together? Oh no! These are really horrendous things to work with. My goodness. So how am I going to separate everything metal away? If I flip this over, okay, that's the side with the black dot. Trying to separate these 2. So I believe there are still 2 magnets here. I have to work. Oh, okay. And my hands are a bit covered in this stuff. Let me go and wash it off. That did not go well, and I don't know whether I've possibly made this worse. This won't sit down properly. Why would it sit? Okay, that's probably the best I can do. But I do seem to have lost one of the magnets. I mean, these are so powerful, it's bound to attach to something. We'll see if I can find it at some point. So far, not really a big success. Well, since the last attempt, things didn't go well. I had left the magnet setting on the roof, but when I put it on the loco itself, unfortunately, it just didn't feel right. You know, at one point it sort of flipped, there was a gap. I was still convinced there were 2 magnets stuck on top of each other because one magnet had disappeared. So I tried to slide the magnets across and managed to remove the magnets completely from the roof. I heard it going across the kitchen floor, but I've not been able to find it. These things are tiny. I've scanned the floor with a magnet and nothing. So I ordered, well, there were some options. In the end, I ordered a set of these tiny magnets. Minimum order was 50. That's very odd. What's it? Okay, I think that's 50. I think it was in 2 halves at first. These magnets have a life of their own. Yeah, they were in 2 halves of 25, and now they've joined up together to make one of 50. So yeah, I only need 1, or I need 2 in fact, but 50 was the minimum order. It was about €5 or €6, so not too much. But these things are really, really difficult to handle. So I'm going to try and replace at least one of the magnets. If we look at the roof, sorry for the close-up of my beard. You see this is the one that's was where the magnet was attached. No, that's the one where the magnet wasn't attached before. This is where it is, and it's a little bit. There's still some glue in there. I tried soaking this in soapy water and brushed off the glue with a nylon brush, but didn't work. The next thing I've seen to try is isopropyl alcohol, so I might try that. But first I'm going to try and just fix a magnet onto this side, being a bit more careful how I do it. The other alternative is to use a general purpose glue just to glue this onto the cabin. I mean, I tried fitting the Hornby driver and a fireman, and they're just too big for this tiny little cabin. So closing it off with a non-permanent glue is an option, but I'm going to try doing it properly. It's a pain. I mean, I've made the whole thing much worse than it was originally. This is always a risk when you try and fix something, that you end up making things worse. So let's try very carefully gluing this magnet onto the roof. The first thing I need to do is to try and separate one of these magnets off, and then place it on this magnet, on the existing magnets, to make sure that the polarity is correct, and I glue it in the correct way on the roof so that it attracts. Now I've done this when I did it before. I put the magnet directly onto this existing magnet and then tried to drag it off, but I decided it might be better to do it on top of a piece of paper, so it's easier to pull off. So that's my plan. So let me try and extract one of these magnets. They say to put it on a wooden block and slide it off sideways, but I think that's really for the larger magnets that exist. I think I can just do it with my finger here. Handling these magnets is so complex. Right, I've got one. At least if I lose one now, I'm able to have enough replacements. Okay, so that's snapped onto the magnet here. Oops. Okay, so now we know the correct polarity. I can mark the side that needs to go face down on the roof. And pull this off easily. Ooh. It's dancing around everywhere. These things are so complicated. Now my idea for what I tried to do before was put a blob of glue on and then a super glue and put the magnets on top of that, but it kind of sat a little bit proud. I was using this super glue gel, which was a bit thick. So my idea this time is to now place it dry into the well, and then I'll have some standard super glue, which should be very fluid, which by capillary action should seep into the places and hold the magnet. So first I'm going to place this magnet into the gap the right way up. Oops, I'm use a cocktail stick to push it into place, which is not easy. My God, these things are so difficult. That's close. I'm now wondering if this magnet's maybe slightly too big, but they should be standard. This is a 2mm diameter, 1mm thickness. Okay, it's there. And it jumps out again so easily. Fiddly fiddly. Right, doesn't want to sit flat. It's very odd. The other option is to buy a new roof with the magnets already fitted from Dapol. It's about £6.95, but then I have to get it from the UK, And there's the problem with paying for customs and shipping and everything. This is not lying flat in this hole. It's very, very frustrating. I'm using the right side. This is the one that's not. Oh no, this is the side with all the gunk, with all the glue in it. That's why it's not sitting properly. Okay, there it goes. That's now sat down. Very tight fit. With the thick super glue, it's not going to seep into the. It's not going to seep into the area by capillary action, is it? So I'm going to have to try and use this thin stuff, which I need to pierce the hole. Does that come out? And the super glue is up. Oh, it's spurted everywhere. Super glue is also really horrible to handle. So let me try putting a blob down here. This is very wet. And then, oh, it's all over my fingers already. Super glue just gets everywhere. So this is not really, it's not going on very well. Let me try very carefully putting a blob like this. How do you make it come out there? A tiny blob. Ooh! I'm sticking to the cutting that. Okay. I'll try and clean this off. Yeah. Okay. Fortunately the roof hasn't stuck. Yeah, what a pain. It's spurted. When I pierced the seal, there was some pressure in there and it spurted out. And I went all over my fingers, and the track mat, I have to be really careful this doesn't affect this. Okay, there's none there. Okay, so I'm going to let that set for an hour or so just to be totally sure it's dry, and then we'll try fitting. Now, the glue has been setting for well over an hour, almost 2 hours. I noticed that by capillary action, some of the glue has actually gone down the side of this, the ridge on this roof piece. I tried to scrape some of it off with a cocktail stick. Perhaps I could try a bit more. It has just kind of melt the plastic a little bit. And this is where I've had the glue before, it's also melted. I was going to try and get that off with IPA, but I think it's melted the plastic, so it's not going to ever fit very well. So now I'm going to try this roof, see how well it fits. This is the first time I've done it. I hope I've got the battery in the right direction and it's not repelling. Okay. How is that fit? It's okay. I think I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm not going to fit the second magnet in because the chances of me messing it up again are pretty high, and I'm pretty sure this is melted plastic now, and the magnet won't sit happily in this hole. So I think I'm back to how it was at the beginning, which is a pity, but you know, it wasn't perfect initially and it worked, and now it's not perfect and it works. So I don't think I've lost anything, but yeah, pity I couldn't get this to work properly. Okay, that's job done. Now on to the next project.